Hello dreamers, I am Mr. Bear and today we were going to do a top 10 multiplayer dreams, but honestly there probably wasn't even 10 that I would ever want to play again. And also the selection of levels is pretty small. There were also a lot of levels that contain multiplayer that weren't listed under the cooperative section, and I want to be able to cover those before I do a real top 10. So I just decided to cover all the ones listed under cooperative. Why not? I brought along Little Bear and we played through every single one of them. We're going alphabetical, let's get right into it. 2D Beach Volley is just that, a teaser. It's not even a game. It looks nice though. Next up we have a Creepy Winter Walk. This game has pretty great atmosphere, but the co-op is completely tacked on. And they also gave control of the camera to the second player for some reason. I have no idea what you're supposed to do, either. Assassin vs. Knight is the first actual game of sorts. If you're looking for balanced gameplay though, you won't find it here. Let's move on. Unfortunately, because this is an alphabetized video, it's going to peak pretty early. Battletops is probably the best made and best playing game here. You and up to 3 other players control tops that you try and destroy the other tops by making them stop spinning or by pushing them off the board. If you don't have friends, and let's be honest, nah, never mind, let's not be honest. Anyways, there are bots that are actually pretty decent to play against. There are several levels, and the level of polish here is higher than anything else we'll probably see today. Next up we have Beta Chess, which is actually a really well modeled and surprisingly well made chess game. There is some missing functionality here, and I hope the creator continues with this level and makes it what it is capable of becoming. Now this is something I might not ever do again, but if you've never heard of Box Peak, then you need to do yourself a favor and go check it out. It's a stick puppet animated series by Kyle Bosman that you can find on YouTube, and I'll link it to you in the description. You can watch the entire first season if you have about 40 minutes or so. You do, by the way. You have 40 minutes. I checked. The game is as faithful to the series as you could be, I think, with local multiplayer, and it's another really well-made level that's actually a surprisingly fun party game. I really hope that when we get online multiplayer, we can actually get a first-person version of this game with, full character customization just like they have in the show. I think this list is actually going to be really top-heavy, or at the start of this I lied a lot because up next is Brain Trust Friends, and this is also a fantastic level that's always being updated with more levels. If this was an indie game available for purchase, I probably would have bought it. These are the co-op games that I was looking for from the start. Each character has different abilities. I mean, one of them seems to only have the ability of shortness, but whatever. You can play this game solo, but I would say co-op is almost pretty much required for this great puzzle game. Coneball seems to be Media Molecule's attempt at making Rocket League starring Connie. You control an unwieldy cone as you try to avoid all the power-ups that make you even harder to control. Creator Clash is the game here that has by far the most potential. However, the game falls short in several key areas that I'm not really sure how easy that will be to fix. My main concern is that everything feels extremely loose, nothing seems to cause major impacts, and the combat is essentially flailing around until somebody wins. However, if Jimmy Jules can get this figured out, then this level has potential to be one of the most important and most recognizable dreams that is in the game. Cubes Master is an isometric game where you can shoot the other player or you can shoot the cubes. I'm not really sure what the point of doing either though is, unfortunately. Dodge Brawl is your typical dodgeball experience. Or not. As far as I can tell, there's no end to the game, which takes away from almost everything good that it has going for it. It's a fun little game for a little bit, and then you're just kind of going through the motions. There's not really much to Dream Slap, but I think it's just perfect the way it is. 4 Roxana Row is Connect 4 with squares and a turbo placement mode for laying down all the squares. We might see a better version of this later. Fraggle Rock Football is bad. I apparently didn't capture footage of it correctly, and I don't care. If your definition of fun is flashing turds and endlessly jumping off cliffs, then you're in for a treat. You can't say it wasn't fun either. That's how they get ya. In the first couple of DFX games, we have Fun Gallery FX. While there's a laser pointer, I'm not really sure because it completely ruins your ability to aim because everyone who looks at this thinks you're going to aim with the target. Nothing holds any impact either, and it doesn't really ever seem like you're shooting. G is set. G's Stories is a stealth game that has potential. I really like the art style and the animation, but the game is just so weird and broken. You can only move about 4 feet away from your teammate for the reason that I can only assume is because you were locked together in an endless staring contest to the death. When you try to move further apart than that, both players can get locked into their current positions and none of them can move for a few seconds. I also have no idea what you're supposed to do. Guesswork seems like it could be a really fun game, but for 2 players, it's pretty much pointless. Let me know if you've played this with a full team though, it looks like it could be really fun. Gunblood Western Shootout is kind of the OG stupid but fun Dreams multiplayer game that I played. It's also one of, if not the only one to use motion controls. You point at the sky, and then you shoot the other person. It's pretty simple. It's pretty great. Hammer Panic is Media Molecule essentially showing you how to make a great weird level with this one. There are 3 very different games where you play as a lively animated hammer. This one is actually a whole lot of fun and definitely one of the ones you need to play if you're trying to find some different unique multiplayer games in Dreams. Hazard Ball has one of the weirdest quirks out on any soccer game that I've ever played. You get points by actually scoring in your own net. If you've played Cone Ball but you wanted something better, just keep looking. Hyper Meat Fighters would be okay if Tom wasn't such a jerk. Come on, stop it, Tom! You jerk! Ginga seems like a game that is almost complete now, but it keeps all the old versions of the game in for posterity or something. It's not a bad playing game, but they really need to figure out how to make it so you can stack your own blocks if they really want to nail down the Ginga experience. I would not say that Night Soccer has a very good camera angle for soccer. It is almost unplayable. Bowling in Canadian is a respectable but agonizingly slow bowling game. But one of your guys has a mohawk. 10 out of 10. Olympics in Canadian is a sport that I can get down with. Hot air balloon javelin, where you get the most points for missing all the balloons and hitting the people. That's a horrifyingly great idea. Also, great stretches. While minigame football table is a pretty faithful recreation of a foosball table, the controls are really hard to get the hang of. Like, really hard. I imagine it would actually be a fantastic game to play this with 2 move controllers though. My Mortal Cone Ball is based off Hazard Ball or vice versa. You also need to score on your own goal here. As far as gameplay goes, this is actually probably my favorite version of it. Naval Battle is a functional game. It takes place inside of the final ring of a battle royale, and you're fighting another ship who also has max armor on. This is one of the only times the controls actually feel too tight. It feels more like 2 tanks than ships floating around. I think adding some floating or something would help this game out in a big way. It's not a bad game though. Another DFX game is Nazare Surf FX. It's like a surfing minigame from the NES game California Games, but this one's goal I think is to launch yourself into the lower atmosphere. Your guess is as good as mine. It is co-op though. You can both point at it. Olympics fencing is exactly like the game Nidhogg, except if you couldn't run, jump, or have fun. Nah, just kidding. You can have a little bit of fun. If Othello demo is playable, I certainly don't know how to play it. It is a great looking board though. In Perio Countryside, you play as a very beautiful but a very flat field where the second player is a laser pointer for you to try and chase something. I swear I played this before though, with both of us playing as the birds, and you just walk straight forever. Either way, it's not very fun. If you want to play a game against the chimp from Ape Escape who will endlessly taunt you with his T-pose as you try to score a goal, then give Project Monkey a try. For some reason, you get to do this all to the soothing sounds of a MIDI version of You've Got a Friend in Me. In Robot Wars, you play one of the 3 bots, an angry choo-choo train, a triangle, or a pink glazed donut. Obviously you pick the train because it has the awesome ability of launching itself into the lava, but don't worry, player 1 always wins. Rock'em Sock'em Robots is a button mashing game where you can move back and forth and punch. There's not much to it and there's 0 skill involved. I guess that's not really too dissimilar from the original though. Save the Colony is a level I don't really understand the name of. You play as a wooden raft trying to catch bugs, and that's well and good. But why does the other person fire a laser cannon? Save the Singer FX is essentially the same as Fun Gallery FX, but with a more goofy concept. That makes this one better. And what is both one of the most technically advanced and also the technically most pointless levels we have right now is the Shipment remake from Call of Duty. It seems to be set up for when they introduce online multiplayer, but for right now it's just pretty to look at. It's also amazing to me that some dude can make better sounding gun audio than a giant studio can. Soccer Battle is a game where kicking the other players is actually far more fun than trying to kick the ball. Split Screen Spar is a fun little game where you play as a 1x1 Lego brick with a pushpin style laser cannon on it. It's the best showcase of a split screen game in Dreams right now that I've seen so far. Strike Force is the good Connect 4 game that I mentioned earlier. However, now that he has added AI, I don't know how to play multiplayer on it anymore. Take That, Dragon! Is a game that seemingly takes place inside of a dragon's mouth, where you throw bones, or knives, or sticks, or large Q-tips, or white lines that spin across the body of water, and try to sink their human battleship. I don't know why you can crouch though. That seems OP. The Samurai Showdown is a dream that is as much about dancing and seeing who can get the most dizzy as it is about fighting. Tic-Tac-Toe Knots and Crosses is a faithful recreation of the classic game. The only change that really needs to be made is taking away control from the other player while you're making your turn. Cheap strategies will happen if not. If you're jerks like us. In what really should be a minigame that lasts 10 seconds on a loading screen, we have Turf Mark. That's a full 60 seconds. It's a fun game that you should try out if you're bored. And you want to become more bored. It's actually a pretty fun game, but it just needs one more element or something to keep it more engaging. And now last, but not best, we have Twilight Fighters. I'll try and get the outro done before I'm even done with the footage for this. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I'm sorry for being such a jerk to everyone who made these dreams. No hard feelings. If you have anything that you would like me to cover next, let me know. If you have any dreams that you've made and you want me to review, share them with me. I have a new series that I want to start making. Anyways, guys, keep dreaming.